In today's video, I'm here with a collegiate golfer, Jane Olsen. We're going to talk about how she controls distances. Clearly, getting that proximity to the pin as you play in tournaments is a big part of scoring. So we're going to have her describe how she manages from 50 yards to 100 yards with her sand wedge. Stay tuned, this can help you in your swing. So Jane, as you did your lessons, sounds like there's two things that you think about in terms of controlling the distance. What are the two things that you feel that control the distance?
The two things that I'm always thinking about is the length of swing I'm making and the power of that swing. And with those two things, I can pretty much hit whatever yardage I want.
So for a given backswing, you have a couple of different tempos that you can hit at. And then as you take a bigger turn, then obviously it goes farther as well.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to show basically, I guess, 6 different swings here. So 3 different backswing lengths, both of them with 2 tempos, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's start with the shortest one here, which would be, you got a sand wedge, So what distance is your shorter? Let's do a shorter swing, slower tempo. What's the distance that you're looking for?
Okay, this would probably be like a 40-yard shot.
A 40-yard shot? Okay, let's give it a shot here. And let's see. So we got TrackMan set up. We're tracking club speed and the carry distance. And 35, pretty good. Okay, let's do another one. So you just feel, where do you feel your hands go? So that's like a...
So my half swing is more of a hip-to-hip move.
Okay.
And this would be like a level 1 power level.
Okay, so let's do a level 1 power again for a hip-to-hip shot. So last one carried right at 38 yards, and this one 39. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's why she's got a college scholarship. Okay, now let's do that same hip to hip with a little more tempo, right? Okay. So what distance are you looking for here?
So this will be maybe more of a 45, 50-yard shot.
So 5 yards. I mean, just as you're thinking about proximity to the pin, the ability to control those 5 yards, that's 15 feet for a putt, right? That's a big difference here. Okay, let's see something in the 45-yard range. So this is hip to hip, a little faster tempo?
Yeah, a level 2.
A level 2, okay, hip to hip, level 2. Okay, I can definitely see that you had a little more oomph there.
55, a little long.
All right, 55, yep.
So I think...
Okay, that looked...
that was more like it.
That looked more like it. There we go. Wow, 45.
Yeah.
Okay, so one shot got away from you. All right, nobody's perfect.
Yeah,
so you feel that was a hip to hip. So let's look at this. Let's look at this camera here. So kind of like hip high to hip high as you come through.
That's kind of where I try to stop. Sometimes it's a little longer, but that's the idea. Yeah.
So hip high to hip high. Mm-hmm. All right. Now what's the next height or turn that you are looking to feel in a backswing?
I think my next level would be a 3/4 swing. That's maybe more of like my left arm parallel, right arm parallel.
Left arm parallel, right arm parallel. Okay, easy visual there. So again, 2 tempos.
Yep.
Okay, so what's the distance that you look for on the tempo 1 on this?
A 3/4 level 1, probably 60 yards.
Okay, so let's. Okay, you can definitely see those arms were about 60.7 yards carry. All right.
Yeah.
Really good. You're probably like number 1 or number 2 on your team, right?
Yeah.
She is.
That's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
And then let's do arm parallel with a little more tempo is going to be what, another 5 to 7 yards?
2? Yeah. 65
to 70. Okay. There we go. 64.8. All right. Now, what's really cool is, again, the value of practice. We're in a TrackMan facility. I mean, you just can't get this type of feedback when you're out on the range because seeing it just land on the grass. But when we have the radar and this level of feedback, really helps to dial in. So when you're in a tournament and you got the rangefinder, you can use rangefinders?
Yeah.
Okay. When you use the rangefinder, and it's 65 yards, you know what that feels like as compared to the 60.
Right.
Okay, so what's your third length of backswing that you look for then?
My third is a full swing, and that, just a full swing. Sometimes with my wedges, I don't always fold it all the way through, but it's a noticeably longer swing than my 3/4 swing.
So you have what would be for a tempo 1 on this swing? Kind of what's your target landing?
This will be 70 to 80, 75.
75-ish yards. Okay.
Yeah, at a level 1.
Okay,
power.
let's see that. Okay, and 74.0. Really, really good. Okay, now the last one will be a little more tempo at that same length of turn, right?
80 yards.
80 yards or so. And you can see, I can just sense that's a little more power, a little on the turn,
85.
right? 85. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've gone through. We went from 40 to 85 with the same club.
Right.
6 different, and basically 5-yard intervals.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, what do you? This is all with a single lofted club.
Mm-hmm.
How do you interleave other lofts? Like, so this is what, a
56.
56. So
Yeah.
what else do you carry in your bag?
I have a 60 and a 52 and a gap wedge 49.
Do you do this same thing with the higher and lower lofted club as well?
Yeah, yep. So I have the same thing with my 60 and 52 and even my gap wedge.
So do you make a card of all these yardages?
Yeah.
You do.
I write them all down.
You write it all down.
Mm-hmm.
So and you take that with you when you play, I presume.
Yep.
Okay. So you've got 3 different lengths of swing with 2 tempos times 3 different clubs. You've
It's
got
lot
a
of
number
shots.
of these yardages down to sub 5-yard intervals then.
Yeah.
And how does that work on the course when you're playing?
Well, basically any situation I'm in, I can hit at least two shots to every pin or in every situation I'm in. I mean, like sometimes if you have a back pin, you might want to maybe use that half swing with level 2 and get it to hit and then roll out more.
Okay.
And they each react different on the green, and whatever you need, you can use.
So you know your carry distance and they have different trajectories, right?
Yeah.
So the key is then you've developed a practice methodology of not every swing is just the same swing.
Right.
And then you just kind of guess when you're out there. You've done the discipline to like build out this, I guess we call it a yardage card.
Yeah.
All right. So 3 different positions, 2 different tempos, 3 different clubs, and you've got that. What does it go down to on the low end?
40. 30.
40 up through.
Yeah. 115, 120.
115. So you've got 3, 4, 5-yard intervals from 40 to 115 yards.
Right. Yeah.
Really valuable in your scoring. This is a great practice methodology that you can try if you have access to a TrackMan or other launch monitor. Make sure you take advantage of those metrics so that you can dial it in. It'll really help you score better. Let's look now in slow motion a couple of these different wedge shots that you hit. So this first one is what you would call the hip high to hip high shot.
Yep.
And your target is about a 40 yards, right?
Yeah.
So you can see your hands go about hip high to hip high.
Hip high, yeah.
You have that
Yep.
visual. They gave you a club speed of 41 and the 40-yard carry, right?
Yep.
Now this shot on the right, this was basically your stock full,
My full wedge swing.
your full sand wedge, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you can see your hand, much bigger turn, so your hands are basically coming to shoulder height, and they come around to shoulder height on the other side,
Yeah.
and that gives you the 23 miles per hour difference on the club speed.
Right. Yep.
So as which one of these is the correct shot, so to speak?
I guess they both are. I mean, it just depends on the situation you're in, right?
Right. So you practice, when you come in here on a TrackMan system, you're practicing like this level of shot every bit as much as you're practicing the full level shot, I presume?
Yes. Yeah. They're equally as important to me. I find myself at 40 yards quite often, so being able to have this shot in the bag is super important for me. So.
And you just know, so the concept is the height of your hands, basically, which equates to how much turn you have, and then the tempo you're going through. You just increase the height, increase the tempo, progressively increasing the distance like we see between these 2 shots.
Right.
If you like this video, we've got a great online swing review program where we can look at your swing and give you critical feedback. Click the link in the description below or in the iCard above. We'll give you a free 14-day trial.